Hi, it's Diana from dianamarchand.com, and welcome to this video. So I really want to get a little real here, and I don't know, it might trigger some people. It's hard to say, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because I think this really needs to be said, like extremely needs to be said. So I've worked with a lot of women over the years about healthy eating, like working towards eating healthier all the time. And I started with more all raw. That's how I started. So I did classes and courses where I was just showing you how to prepare the healthy food. Like that's it. It was just about here's how to do it, here's how to make it, and have fun, right? But of course, you can know how to do those things. You can have the Vitamix, you can have the dehydrated, you can have all those things. But people don't follow it, right? And then, of course, I wasn't all raw anymore. And so I was kind of going like, I knew I needed to find what worked for all women, like something that was good for all women. And of course, we're all different. So here's the thing, every woman's different. So you might have tried to follow a certain diet before, which hasn't worked for you, but may have worked perfectly for your friend. One of those things where like, this is a sure thing, this is going to work, you're going to lose this amount of pounds and it's going to be great and sign up now and all this stuff. And then it doesn't work and it leaves you really frustrated. So there's a couple things. Yes, you need to find the foods that work for you. You need to find the way of eating that works for you. And that's exactly what I help you with, right? So that is a big main part of it. The thing is, though, of course, when I'm working with women and we're going through all this stuff and I'm showing them the foods and they're learning and all that, which is great, so great. They're feeling better, they have more energy, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't stick with it. And then I hear again, I just don't stick with it, or I don't have time. I don't know what's wrong. I just keep going back to old habits. I don't know why I ate that whole bag of chips. I don't know why this, and I can't be perfect, so I might as well give up, and I keep giving all these things. So here's the thing. You can know what's right or how to eat or what to eat for yourself. The thing is, if you don't have the right mindset, if you haven't worked through your crap, if you haven't discovered what's your block, what's holding you up, if you haven't changed your thoughts in years, then it's not going to work. Because if something hasn't worked in the past, if you keep falling back into old habits, if you keep doing the same things over and over again, if you keep telling yourself you don't have time, if you keep telling yourself healthy food's too expensive, if you keep telling yourself, oh, my family won't eat that, so it's just impossible for me, on and on and on. All those excuses, all those things you say over and over again that continually stop you, and you just go back to old habits and patterns, that's going to keep happening. Because the thing is, you haven't started to change something within yourself. And that's what needs to be done. Now, don't click off and don't think, oh, screw it, I'm not going to bring up any crap that's inside of me. That's going to be too emotional. It's going to disrupt my life. And I can't deal with that now. And you're not a therapist. And I don't want to see a therapist and all that stuff. You don't have to. It has nothing to do with seeing a therapist or whatever. I mean, you can if you want. Not sure if that's going to work. But the thing is, to really have something change in your life, right? So that you stick with it, so that you continue on that path, so that you continue to do the things that you should do or you want to do, right? Over and over and over again. You kind of need to become a different person. So I know that it's like, well, how do you do it? What are you talking about? Well, aren't I good enough? It has nothing to do with not being good enough. It has to do with the way you think, the things you do, your habits, your behaviors, everything, your patterns, right? Cause the environment you're in now. So they are the way you are now, the things you have in your life now, the way you eat, your body, all of that is reflecting because of the things you've thought, the things you've said to yourself, the environment you surround yourself in, the way you think about yourself, believe about what's possible for you, probably from past raising, your childhood, the way you were raised, the beliefs that you were given by other people, and then we take them on as true. We start to believe that those are true and things can't change for us. All of those things create you now, right? So if you want something different for your life, something different, you can't just get to that something different just by learning how to prepare healthy food or saying you want it and staying really clean for 2 weeks or a month or whatever, right? What you need to do is to change some things within you, not just change how you make food, not just change if you got a new Vitamix or not, things like that, right? Those things are necessary, but they're not going to wait what's going to make the lasting change. So I'm doing a workshop on Sunday, October 16th. And why I included a bit of mindset stuff in that workshop, which might scare people away, and I hope it doesn't, because we're not going to dig deep and discover your childhood fears and things that happened to you. That's not what it's about. it's about discovering and uncovering things that might be stopping you, like, oh, this is the way I actually this is the way I actually talk to myself, no wonder. Or, oh, I think this way, so that is stopping me, right? Or, oh, I now have awareness of these little blocks that I have. Now I can start to release them. And by more awareness, we can catch ourselves when we start saying things like that, or acting in a certain way, or going back to old patterns or behaviors. We can start and say, hold it, I know what's happening here. I'm not going to let it happen to me again. So, it's just like, it's becoming the adult. So most often what guides, what drives us and what keeps us going back into our old patterns, behaviors, or something that we happened as a child. And so then when we're triggered by something, we go back and be that child. So as an example, if someone tries to tell me, there's a few things. If they try to tell me, like if I say, oh my God, I want to live and work and travel here, and someone says to me, well, that's impossible. You can't really do that. Like, think about it, Diana. You're not making enough money to do that. Where are you going to live? What are you going to do with the stuff you have? Like, come on, get realistic. That triggers me. That sends me right away. I go back to like being a young child, and I get rebellious and I get cranky, and I'm like, I hate you. Don't you dare say that to me. I can do anything I want. Right? So you see what I mean? What you resort to is still this hurt, this little child and you act from that place, right? That's why you eat tons of chocolate. That's why you eat the bag of chips when you're emotionally upset or you need to be comforted, right? That's why you do certain things. It's because it's like this little child comes up and you're so unaware of it because you're an adult. You're thinking, I'm living out as an adult. But yeah, what's actually ruling you or running you right at that moment is your child. So now it's really helped me to bring awareness to that. And so when I see that child part of myself come up, I can catch myself. I hear it. I'm all of a sudden this observer looking down at myself going, holy cow, what is she doing? Look at the way you're acting, Diana. That's not you. That's your little child. That's not the way you want to be now. That's not the way you are now. You're just letting yourself fall back into that pattern, right? So we're going to talk about, and it's not just that, it's about so many other things, but there's so many little doable things that you can do and start to say and start to do and start to think and start to believe and start, how you use your words and everything. And think about things that can flip and switch things around and give you this shift, and you go like, oh, I get it now. So that's what we're going to try to bring out to you at the workshop on Sunday. And it's not just about like, we're not going to go into deep detail and have you telling everybody's going to be crying. That's not what it's about. So don't get freaked out or scared about it. And if you're somebody who's like, you just know that you got your boots dug in because there's something that's triggered you when you try to continue on the healthy path. There's something that stops you over and over again, but you're not willing to face it. You think it's going to disrupt your whole life if you bring it up. Then that's just kind of a sign that either you want things to change or you don't. So if you want things to stay the same, unfortunately they're going to stay the same. And whether it's weight you're worried about, whether it's health you're worried about, that's not going to change. That's not going to change. And often what people say when they bring up these things, it's nothing. It's like, oh, it's kind of laughable. You release the charge. So when we keep pushing things down, that thing we're pushing down has a huge emotional charge, because the more we push it down, the more we suppress it, the more we repress it, we just give it more power. Because what you resist persists. We give it more power. But when we start to let it come up, it feels, I can't handle this. I'm not going to be able to handle this. I can't handle this. But then when you really look at it, reality from an adult point of view, instead of reacting as a child, and look at it and kind of go, oh, that's silly. Wow, really? That's truly what I believe. That's really oh my God, how silly, right? Then it diffuses it. It loses its energy because we're not letting it affect us and trigger us anymore, because we're reacting from our kind of more of an adult self than that little child that's very reactive, right? I hope that helped. I hope that gave you some insight into kind of how important the mindset part of it is when you're trying to make changes, and especially in your eating. So whether you live here in Nanaimo or on Vancouver Island or not, I hope this video helped you. And also, so if you are a woman and you live around this area, highly suggest you start come to this workshop. That's on Sunday, October 16th. I put the information on this video. Check it out. And also, if you want more help with your mindset and eating healthy and getting all of that put together, eating right for you as a person, for you specifically, then you can check out my programs at dianamarchand.com. 8-week, 30-day, and a 14-day quick clean eating cleanse That is coming up really soon. And of course, make sure to join my Facebook community, Women Creating Healthy Lives, because I do more free trainings there. I do lots of, that's where you can get some healthy recipes and you can take a look at how I kind of prepare things. I do that on the fly sometimes, and menu ideas and meal ideas. That's there. And my YouTube, dianamarchand.com. Okay, there you go. Have a good day. Bye.